Okay, so we're towards the end of the session. Beau's problem, I think, is a resource guarding problem. I haven't seen it, but from what his guardians are describing, it sounds like it's resource guarding. Now, a lot of people misconfuse resource guarding, they are confused about it. Resource guarding is actually officially not designated an aggressive behavior, even though it looks very aggressive when the dog's doing it. Resource guarding is a natural thing for dogs to have in the wild. If they're out in the wild and they find some food and another dog comes and hangs out, that dog's going to try to take their food. So they're going to act tough and growl and fight that dog if they need to keep it away, because they need that food for fuel and for sustenance. That's for survival. So it's very natural for dogs to develop resource guarding issues or have resource guarding as a skill. And in the wild, like I said, it's something that they need. In domesticated life, they do not need it, but it's biologic. A lot of dogs just pick it up, and it has no correlation to how well-trained or well-socialized the dog is. A very well-trained, a very well-socialized dog can develop a resource guarding habit. Now, a dog that's resource guarder basically is under the perception that I have to defend the item. When the person approaches me, they're going to try to take resource guarding can be either a location, it could be a person, or it can be an object, or sometimes several objects, or several of the above. So if the dog thinks, well, I'm here with my human on the bed, and this other human comes into the room, he's going to try to take my position or take advantage of my human or try to grab my human. So it thinks that we're going to take something away. So the very common thing that we do is we kind of get more confrontational, we force the dog off, and all those things will actually make the dog more aggressive, because it's not getting its point across, and the point is to make sure the object isn't taken from them. Well, there's a different, more positive way to go about this. This is what we do in for dog psychology, is we want to teach the dog that when a human approaches, not only are they not going to take your stuff, they're going to make your situation better. So we've got the guardian in her bedroom with both dogs in the bed. And the guardian that is guarded is actually the one who's holding the camera. I'm going to grab the camera in a minute. I'm going to walk backwards down this hallway, and I'm going to go into the bedroom so you can actually watch the process. What I'm going to have the guardian do that's here holding the camera is he's got a bunch of high-value training treats. These are the chicken liver that I like to use. Remember, I never said this, but never use milk bones, pepperonis, or bacon strips. All three of those have known carcinogens in them that have been known to give dogs cancer. They're 3 of the 5 most popular brands of food. So I use Tricky Trainers from Cloudstar. They're chicken liver. They are high value. They're high scent. Dogs love them. So what we're going to do is basically, I'm going to walk backwards. I'm going to go in the room, and I'm going to give him the cue. He's going to come in. He's going to stop outside the room. The idea is we want to do this before the dog reacts. Once the dog reacts and gets in that mode, it's too late. We're not going to be able to reach it. So the idea is if I approach and as soon as I get to 10 feet, the dog starts growling. And I go to 9 feet, it starts lunging. Well, then it's telling me that's the distance. So if it's 10 feet, well, then I would approach and I would stop at 11 feet. Stop before the dog even reacts at all. And I'm going to toss a treat to the dog. And then once the dog gets it, I'm going to turn, I'm going to walk out of the dog's view. Now, this only affords us one angle to walk in here because it's the hallway. But I believe he also may resource guard the kennel, and he may also resource guard food. Now, if we have the ability to approach, the idea is we want to approach from a whole bunch of different angles. So the dog gets used to, no matter which direction he comes from, when he approaches, the best treats I've ever had fall from the sky. Now, as we're doing it, first we might have to stop at 11 feet. After we practice that for a while, maybe we do like 5, 10 treats, and the dog starts looking very relaxed, and he's not staring, and his energy seems a lot calmer. Then we go to maybe 10 feet, and we toss a treat. And the dog is good at that distance, then we practice there for 4 or 5 or 10, or every dog's going to have a different number of repetitions. But eventually, when we get to the point, then we go to 9 feet, and then 8 feet. So each time we get closer to the dog, and the dog doesn't react. If the dog reacts, we push too far too fast. And then back up, leave the room, let the dog calm down. And then if I came to 8 feet and I went to 7, and 7 he got reactive, then I back up and practice at 8 feet a little bit more. Now, if you have dogs that have a kennel, and the dog's in the kennel, you just approach and toss a treat in the kennel and walk away. If the dog is doing this for food, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll get a long-handled spoon. Now, first what I'll do is I'll approach the dog and I'll gently roll the treat. Be careful of the treats because they'll go all over the place. We don't want to think that we're trying to move them off his object. And then you toss the treat and then you walk away. then you will come from a different angle and do the same thing. Eventually, when it's a dog food issue, when you can get like within 2 or 3 feet of the dog, then what I do is I get some wet dog food, some canned dog food, and a long-handled spoon. And then what I would do is just have a scoop of it, let the dog eat half of its food, and then walk up to it. And now it's gotten used to us walking up because we practice this by tossing the treats. Now I walk up with half a scoop of this good wet dog food. I plop it in their bowl and I walk away. Now the dog's like, wow, when I approach, not yet again, he doesn't take my stuff, he makes my situation better. Now you have a real dog, a dog that has a real food guarding problem. One of the steps I'll do before this is I'll actually have the human go to hand feeding the dog. This is where the expression, don't bite the hand that feeds you, comes into play. Dog won't bite the hand if it's doing it. Now if I do that, I'm going to pantomime. Let's say the dog's here and the head is here and here's the butt. I would grab a scoop of food, hold it out, let the dog start eating it out of my hand, and I'm going to touch the dog right by its tail. And I'm just going to touch. And if the dog stops eating, I'm going to pull my hand away. When it goes back, again, I touch. I might only touch with one finger. I'm not caressing, I'm not telling it to do anything. And then I keep on doing that until I can touch and the dog continues to eat the little handfuls of food over and over. And as soon as the food is gone, I pull my hand away each time. And eventually, if I'm starting off here, if I'm a dog, eventually I'm going to get to one finger down here, then 2 fingers, then a whole hand, then a hand that's caressing, and then I'm going to get closer and closer, and as I'm going, if I'm a dog, I'm getting closer to the front shoulder. Now, when you get close to the head, they will start growling, and that's normal, so you would back up a little bit and help them practice you being touched while I'm handing you the food. And this creates, like I said, a positive association because the human is the one distributing the food, and I'm getting practice at having a human touch me, but they're not taking my food. And we're already having them eat out of our hands, so we can take advantage of that. Okay, so those are the tips if your dog does it with a food guarding situation. We're not going to show that in this video. We're just going to show going here into the bedroom. So I'm going to go ahead and take over the camera, and we're going to see how I can do some good camera work. All right. So I'm just going to walk backwards, and I'm going to walk into the bedroom first. And I'm going to have the guard. So we already have one of the dogs growling. So just stay right there. I'm going to walk into the bedroom, and I'll actually turn around so we can see. So he's not. I think usually a dog that's a resource growl will growl at anybody. Okay, so what's that?
He was growling.
Yeah, I heard that. Well, but I mean at me as well as. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to have you go ahead and come on in. You're going to come just right to the edge. Stop right there. Toss a treat for him. And then turn around and walk away. And let go of him. And move your hand so he can see the treat. There you go. There you go. All right. Normally he doesn't get down and walk towards you, right?
No.
Okay.
Not when I'm feeding him like this. No, he won't.
Okay. So go ahead and come on back in here. And just actually take a step backwards. Let him. There we go. And go. You want to call him up under the bed?
Beau.
Beau. Beau. Beau. She's got a treat. So go ahead and walk away real quick. Let's get him back on the bed.
Beau.
Beau. Show me you have the treat.
Come on, Beau.
Hang it off the edge. There you go. And go ahead and try not to move out there. There we go. Call him again.
Beau.
This is not the most exciting footage, but basically, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of summarize it. But basically, what we're going to do is the same sort of principle. Normally, I'm guessing he doesn't jump down like that and go over towards him and not be growling.
No.
So we're already started making a good improvement. There we go.
Come on.
So now he's a little confused because this is different because you see the guardian has some what do you call those things? What do you call those things that you wear when you're the crutches? Excuse me.
Yeah.
And so he uses those to force the dog off the bed. And again, that I think accelerates and just put it on the let him see it and just drop it. So I think he's so used to you doing everything for him that he doesn't want to do it himself. He's waiting for you to do it for him. This is why what I talked about off camera about petting with a purpose and passive training are going to be super important for you. You don't have to be this authority figure, but you have to make sure that he understands it. That's okay. So in this, we already achieved a better result. He was growling, but he approached, tossed the treat, and walked away, and he got down to follow him. I mean, not only is he no longer resource guarding, he's like going to him, hey, this is the Pied Piper with a lot of treats.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, what we'll do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just hand you the camera. I'll just kind of quickly summarize this one. You just, careful you don't, careful your finger. There you go. So basically, these are some tips and tricks that you can use if you have a dog that's resource guarding a person in a bed.